Hey guys. Oh my god, this is so weird. Also, ignore my hair. Oh my. Hello. I haven't stepped foot in this account for a long time. If you're seeing this, well, I posted on my Tumblr, so hello. Yeah. I wanted to sit down and talk about my feelings about everything. Yeah. I have not been on Tumblr in a hot minute. Like, since quarantine even, like March, I have been on it a few times to say a few things, update you guys very briefly. But I really wanted to come on here, and I was inspired by Laura's video, if you've seen it. And just everything that I've been seeing on Twitter. I used to not be a Twitter stan. I was always on Tumblr. I was not in the like Twitter Dan and Phil community. But then I became a pretty dedicated K-pop stan, and you know where K-pop stans go, so I'm on Twitter. I'm also on TikTok now. It's been fun, but I promise this has relevance. Yeah, I already filmed this yesterday, but I was totally out of it and I kind of just rambled for 20 minutes and I don't really want to do that again. So I don't want to have to reiterate all the comments that everyone else has been bringing up, because I feel like we all kind of have the same opinion when it comes to how we feel about Dan and Phil abandoning us. But just a disclaimer, I am not going to sugarcoat much. I'm just gonna say it how it is, because I don't really have the time or energy to like dance around subjects. Also, yeah, I'm putting this on unlisted because I heard that you get pretty harsh criticism for criticizing Dan and Phil, and although I'm used to it because, like, again, I said I'm on Stan Twitter and I'm on TikTok, I've dealt with my share of criticism, but that's fine. Yeah, so so as I said, I haven't been on Tumblr for a while, as you've seen, which is totally fine. I've been vibing. It's been fun. Like, I always remember you guys. I always remember all the fun I had. I'm still friends with a bunch of people from Tumblr. It's amazing. Love you guys. But I've realized that I started to almost naturally grow away from Dan and Phil, mostly after basically after their coming out videos. Like, I gave them time to come back, and then it never did. We are Dan and Phil fans, and I feel like we've been let down on a lot of fronts. So that was kind of why I was like, you know what? I get content when I stan BTS, so I'm gonna go stan BTS instead. And I know I'm not the only one. So yeah. But I think what I wanted to just rant about and give my opinion on was just that so many people are just apologizing for them, defending them, when we don't know, and that is the issue. We shouldn't have to be making these videos theorizing about oh, this is how they feel. I'm probably gonna be saying a lot of like I'm gonna be extrapolating a lot because, well, we haven't been told anything, and that right there is the issue. We aren't mad that Dan isn't making the content he used to make. People grow. I've been part of fandoms that the creators have completely changed and switched gears, and that's totally fine, but they informed us beforehand. For example, the Dolan twins. Actually, I started watching the Dolan twins kind of after Dan and Phil stopped posting as much together. And I was back when, I remember me and someone else on Tumblr were like leading this whole like Dan is taking advantage of us, and no one agreed with us. But now that more people are agreeing with us. But yeah, so I started watching Adult Twins, and I liked their content. It was stupid, it was fun, like, it just gave me something to watch. It's entertaining. But then they kind of changed up their content, and they said, you know what, like, we don't have the creative energy to, like, have to think of new ideas every week, so we're just gonna, like, vlog. And I'm not a big person anymore that likes vlogs. When I was younger, I really liked just watching, like, rich people live their lives. But now it's not as fun for me. I prefer if there's a structure to the video, so I just stopped watching their videos. But that's fine. They expected it, and they communicated that to their fans, so people were like, okay, now I know I can let go because I've been informed. That's the issue with Dan and Phil, is we haven't been informed of anything. If Dan says, I don't want to make YouTube videos anymore, I want to write books, I want to start, like, going into, I don't know, performing arts, those kinds of things, then go at it. But it's almost like he's afraid to lose his fan base that he doesn't even like, because we literally pay their bills. And I already know that even if he pulls yeah, I'm just gonna rewriting books, yeah, I might be like, I'm not gonna deny it, I ordered his book. Kind of regretting that right now, but that's fine. So I ordered his book, and if I like it, then maybe I'll read his future books if he writes more. And if I like this new, like, Daniel Howell or whatever. But we should be allowed to, like, choose and be told when to choose. But we're almost buying this stuff expecting we're gonna get content, right? It's like, oh, like, when he released his book, I was like, oh, it's being released in, like, March, I think. And so it's yeah, I think it's March. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy it because I know that he's gonna be, like, explaining the book and, like, probably post more content leading up to the book. We've got nothing. And I know he said that he wants to start, like, releasing bits and pieces of it, but that's it. Like, when you know that your fans are here because you're a YouTuber, because you haven't said you're not anymore, like, he's still a content creator, and they just kind of always said that they would come back. Like, everything they've ever ended was like, yeah, we might come back to this. The only thing that they ever, like, ended for sure was Phil is Not on Fire, and even then they dealt with that in such a rude manner. They were like, you guys just should have known, right? Like, 10, of course it was going to be the end. And we were like, what? Like, some of us are attached to you guys, do you realize? Like, again, I don't want to just be repeating what everyone else is saying, but it's like they don't care as much because they know we're always going to be there, and we proved it. We prove it time and time again, because when Dan released his book, it sold out. He knows he doesn't have to do anything to get money. Phil has that membership system. He hardly puts any effort into that membership system, and he gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. So yeah, that's cute. I'm still trying to find a way to get a bunch of people to pay me money every month to just post a diary entry. And that's fine. You can spend your money however you want, if that's how you want to support. I'm not one to judge. I spend way too much money on my K-pop boys, but that's fine. We're allowed to spend our money where we want, but it's just proving to them that we're so dedicated that we'll do anything. And that's kind of sad. Again, I still love Dan and Phil. They have a very special place in my heart. They basically raised me. They helped me find a community. And that is going to lead me into my next part, community. Dan and Phil's whole branding and their whole thing is, like, they've done actual panels at VidCon explaining how their entire success is because they were able to curate a community. And they're just ditching that community, and they don't want the community anymore because I don't know why. They don't like us. I genuinely think Phil does. But like Laura said in her video, I don't know if his new content warrants this fan base. It warrants a fan base. Like, I still like a lot of his videos, and I'm sure there's lots of people that just genuinely like his videos and will be an amazing Phil fan. But they don't warrant this giant, dedicated, like emotionally attached fan base. Like, it doesn't, and that's okay, and I think he knows that. But it's the fact that they just won't tell us that joint content is over. They're just trying to make it very obvious, and I feel like that's something they've always done. They're very afraid of telling us things, so they just expect us to find out, and we always have. That's the thing, is like we found out about truth bombs before it happened. We found out about interactive introverts before it happened, because we're just that obsessed that we just we will do the work for them, almost. And that's not fair, because then it leads to things like this where we're all just fighting. So yeah, that's basically my opinions. Yeah. Oh no, wait, there's one more thing. Just communication wise, people are saying that Dan has been putting out content. What content? They're like, he tweets. He doesn't tweet nearly as much as he used to, if we're counting that as content. And tweets are not content. I wish they were. Like I said, okay, this is gonna sound so self-righteous of me. I have like 20,000 followers on TikTok. I'm not famous, but I'm still a content creator. I make K-pop content, and a lot of people like look forward to what I put out. And I agree, it is very emotionally draining to have to come up with content all the time. But you know what? When I take a break, I have taken breaks, I communicate it to my audience, and I say, you know what? I'm not feeling that great. I'm gonna take a break. And then everyone's like, yeah, take your break. But I make sure to communicate it. And I wish Twitter was content, because then I wouldn't have to make other content. But it's not. They're not Twitter famous. Like, they're famous because they're YouTubers, and they have a Twitter because they're YouTubers. And people are saying, oh, but like, they don't owe you an explanation, like, you're just a fan, like, if you don't like them, then just leave. Okay, that's fine, but they do owe us. I don't know if you noticed what I said before, but we literally pay their bills. And I know that sounds like weird, because we shouldn't, that's a weird relation to have with someone, but that's called a content creator and fan relationship. We genuinely, like, for example, another example of that would be singers or K-pop stars. I'm gonna be making a lot of analogies to K-pop. It's my life right now. K-pop stars put out music. They put out, and they also tweet, right? They have a Twitter. But if BTS just only tweeted, they just only started tweeting and posting selfies, I'd be like, okay, but your music, and they're like, no, we're not doing that right now, but we'll get back to it. And they're like, your music? Are you working on music? And they're like, no. I'm like, what? Like, I think people's perceptions are all misconstrued. Like, it's a supplement. And okay, but I'm getting totally out of there. What I was saying is, BTS make music. I don't know if you know this, BTS Army spends a lot of money on BTS. We literally start funding accounts so that way we can buy all their music, so that way they will chart. They actually just charted #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it made us very happy, because it was like our efforts were rewarded. Anyways, that was totally off topic. But yeah, we spend a lot of money, right? So if BTS just all of a sudden were like, yeah, no, we're just gonna start tweeting and not making music, And we'd be like, but we literally, what are we paying for? And they're like, well, the thing is, BTS also has a membership. And still pay for our membership, still buy all our merch. They have a lot of merch. And that's a whole other issue. We also criticize the company, BTS's company, for how much merch they've been putting out, because it's insane. But it's like, we keep paying them, and we're not getting anything, you know? Us constantly, like, yeah, I just realized this, that Dan put out that book, it's sold out, and he hasn't done anything. Yeah, he's been writing a book, which is fine, but normal writers don't have that, like, immediate, like, pour. The only reason he has that, like, pouring in of support is because, well, he's Dan, and he has a fan base. Yeah, he has a previous fan base, but why does he have that fan base if he's not posting? That's my thing. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to kind of bring this into my perspective about where I've kind of been. So I've always had like my hand dipped into the Dan and Phil fandom, but I like for a while, but I haven't because I haven't completely let go. But I do want to kind of talk about how it's been so different in the K-pop fandom. There's so many similarities though. There's so many similarities. It's really funny because like this whole thing, people like apologizing for grown men, defending grown men, is just funny. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah. Anyways, okay, just if you're a K-pop stan, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna be talking about enlistment, so if that makes you uncomfortable, you can leave. Just so you know. Because I know, and it'll make sense to people who are listening. So K-pop fans have to deal with enlistment, which is when K-pop boys have to go to the military for about 1.5 years, I believe it is now. So yeah, it's a predetermined hiatus that happens to every single K-pop group if you have members that are Korean citizens. And the thing is, with enlistment, it's a very touchy subject because people are so attached. And I know there's people that are neurodivergent, there's people who are very emotionally attached to K-pop, their favorite K-pop groups. Even myself, like, I don't like talking about enlistment that much because it does really sting that I know that, oh, we're not gonna get full BTS music for a whole 1.5 years, and then actually more than that because each of them have to go and like go at different times, which is fine. And I know it needs to happen, but it's hard to think about because I'm so emotionally attached. So I'm not saying I don't understand the people who are very emotionally attached to Dan and Phil. I once was too. I still am. Like, I do care about them. That's why I care and I'm making this video. If I didn't care about them, I'd be like, screw you guys. I don't care. I don't need to make my opinion. But I do care about them, and I care about this fan base, and that we should be treated properly. But back to enlistment. So a lot of people are very attached, and it's always another debate that comes up. Of course, it's a little bit different because it's out of their hands, and also because they always communicate when enlistment happens, kind of. That's fine. But I just want to say that I feel bad for a lot of people who are defending them, because I know that you're doing it with good intention because you think that if you don't, they're just gonna leave, and you don't like hearing that Dan doesn't like his fan base anymore, and you don't like hearing that they aren't putting out content because, yeah, it hurts. And most people, I think, are just in denial. And I think this would all be cleared up if they just came out and said, you know what? If Dan came out and said, yeah, I'm not making content anymore, Then people could let go, people could decide to stay. That's totally fine. And I just think that it would just make things a lot easier if they just said, yeah, we're not posting joint content anymore. They actually never said anything about that. They just kind of left it. And I think that definitely took a toll on a lot of people because, yeah, their whole branding is the Dan and Phil branding. And I don't think Dan likes that. I think he's very confused about who he is, where he wants to be, and that's totally fine. But here's two things. One, take us along for the journey. You have this fan base, this amazing fan base who loves you and supports you and accepts you. And I think it would be useful if you took us along. I know in the book he's probably going to talk about a lot of it, which is fine. But why didn't you take us along for the ride? If you didn't, like, your fan base, you don't need to take the whole world along. Like, the book, I think, is marketed to the world. But why couldn't you just post videos about how you're feeling? Or, you know what was perfect? Live shows. Live shows were the perfect outlet for him to just talk about how he was feeling, talk about what he's interested in, and keep us interested. I'm not saying you need to make full-length videos. Those take a lot of time and effort, and maybe he's not creative in that way anymore. But live shows are just you, and I don't know why they stopped. I don't know why. I don't know if and that's the thing, is it almost made us feel like we did something wrong, and you should never make your fans feel like they did something wrong. It makes us feel like, were we stepping over lines? Were we doing things we shouldn't have done? And that's kind of crappy to make your fans feel that way. I know our fan base is definitely one that is unique and different, but at the same time, you still need to treat the people who pay you with respect. The other thing is that oh yeah, and also their gaming channel would have been perfect to bring back during quarantine. That's all I'm saying. Like, what were they doing in quarantine? You have nothing to do. You might as well just turn on Mario Kart and play and make us happy. That's all it would have taken, but I don't know why they didn't. I lost my train of thought though. So anyways, that was basically all my thoughts. I'm sorry this video ended up being super long. But yeah, I've missed you guys. If you care at all, I am over on TikTok at _Zozy. Yeah, I really hope I don't get too much backlash for this. I know lots of people have very differing opinions, but this is just mine. So, in the end, it's fine. I get attacked by BTS poppers on the daily on my Twitter, so that's fine. And I get really rude comments too, so that's fine. But I hope you guys are doing great. Don't take everything so seriously. I'm just doing this for fun almost, because I like getting my opinions out there. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great month, a great Christmas if you celebrate. I hope you're staying safe. Yeah, if you ever need me, you can always DM me. My DMs are always open, and I like to have a good chat once in a while. If you want to talk about Dan and Phil, sure. If you are a fellow kpoppie, if you're a fellow phannie turned kpoppie, feel free to give me a DM and we can talk about whatever groups you want, because I stan a lot. If you guys want to see what I've been spending all my money on, yeah, I have a bit of a problem. Those aren't even all my albums. I have a bunch in my closet too. I've spent like over 2,000 over quarantine. That collection was not there before quarantine. But yeah, this has been fun. I don't know how to end this. On my YouTube videos, I have an outro, so I'm just gonna say bye.